businessmen type. We all sat at the table, and I'll do this real quickly. We all sat at the table. One of the men pulled out from his jacket something that was wrapped in a blue cloth. He handed it to Dr. Reed. I was sitting here. Dr. Reed was sitting right next to me here. The folks were sitting across the table from us. They handed it to him, and they said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And he said, "Yeah." And with that, he unwrapped the the package, and it was this Link artifact bracelet. He said, "No matter what happens, nobody gets up to leave the room." Fine. With that, he took the bracelet, he put it on his wrist, and it still was silver of this color. Put it on its wrist, and it seemed to close around his wrist on its own. And as you saw some of the characters that are on this bracelet, they seem to be raised, almost as if one of them might be a control mechanism or an on and off button. We really don't know. He put the bracelet on his wrist, and he started to vibrate. And the bracelet became like frosty, like a frosty mug of beer. And he started to vibrate and shake violently. And then all of a sudden, he was gone. And we were sitting right next to each other. I go like this. He's not there. He's not in the room. And I said, "Geez, what is this?" Time, and it seems like in these instances, time seems to get a little distorted and not much time has passed, but it appeared to be seconds. And with that, off in the corner of the room was this sort of light, little orb of light, kind of glowing gold, 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 and it sort of floated across the room. And I look over, and there he is back in the chair again. Now, as we're sitting in this room, everyone's jaw is like, what? What happened? This orb of light floats through the room, and then all of a sudden begins to take on a shape, like a large figure in a robe of gold, like the only thing that I can describe it as a being of light. It stayed sort of hovering in the room, and then, boop, it was gone. And I look over at Dr. Reed, and he's exhausted and passed out on the table. And one guy across from us is crying, and the other guy is just rubbing his head. No, it wasn't videotaped. If I knew that this was what was going to happen, you could be sure I would have had the video camera with me. That's not to say that we won't get another opportunity to do this. Right now, the artifact is being cared for by a group of people that Dr. Reed calls the Alliance. Group of businessmen, industry people, scientists whose agenda is to bring forward the reality of extraterrestrial life, and they have an agenda, and they're working with him. They had another one of these artifacts, but theirs didn't work. This one does. Just a quick bit of science about it. A scientist affiliated with the NASA Institute at Ames examined it, determined that he can best describe it as emerging nanotechnology. That this was layered, that if you took a cross-section of the bracelet, you would have a layer of metal and a layer of what appeared to be these microtubules, some sort of nanotechnology, and then another layer of metal, and then another layer of the nanotechnology material. And he's produced a report that I have here on this and his conclusions. So I think that it's some type of biomorphic or bioelectric device, that it has 3 pins underneath it, and it seemed when he put it on his wrist, he sort of grimaced like as if these needles poked his skin. And that seems to how it interfaced with his nervous system. After he came back and the bracelet was off, he had, like 3 little welts, on his wrist, where they were, and of course, a couple days later, they had passed and disappeared. But I'm uncomfortable talking about that because I'm still trying to be very objective and open-minded, and I've never had an experience myself. So I really don't know how to wrap my mind around this yet. There's so much more. I just think we're running short on time, Dan. For the whole thing? Then I'll be around till Sunday. Feel free to come and talk to me. I'll answer any questions that you have. I'll show you some of the evidence that I've got, the reports, etc. And with that, thank you all very much. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. You can keep that. I'm going to roll one more real quick video because I told people we would show this bullet wound video, and I want to do that. We've got enough time to do it, so let's go ahead and roll the video that I had queued up for you. There were some people that don't know this, but Dr. Reed was shot in Canada after he did his very first public presentation in San Diego. This is Dr. Reed. They're zooming up on his shoulder here where the entrance wound was. This was a 9mm caliber. Entrance wound was in the fleshy part of the trapezius. It, they believe, ricocheted slightly off the collarbone and fragmented into 3 pieces. And he's going to turn around here, and you're going to see the really kind of graphic bullet exit wound.
And as most bullet wounds do, when they come in, they leave a hole like this. And when they come out the other side,
much bigger.
He still retains the scar of this still today. We have...
Now this was taken a couple weeks, maybe within a couple weeks of him actually being shot. Now he's going to throw a ruler down so you can see. It's about 2 inches in diameter, and this was actually, he was in a parking lot leaving a store, and some man approached him in a jogging outfit. He had a gun holstered inside of his jogging jacket, and he took the gun and pressed it into Jonathan's chest. And when Jonathan reacted spontaneously, just grabbed it, and it went off. And the guy, I don't think he really intended to shoot Jonathan, but he reacted kind of coldly. He was a little startled, but then he just holstered the gun, and he walked away and got into a van and took off. Okay, you can stop that video.
We have not the bullet itself, but we have the casing.
That's right. The casing was laying next to him, and he picked it up.
The 9 would have ejected the casing out the side, and we retained that.
We've got a whole bunch of other stuff, but we don't have time for it. But I'm going to have Jonathan come up here, Dr. Reed himself, and play this video, this audio, and talk a little bit about it because it's a really fascinating piece of audio. Dr. Reed, please.
Thank you. Anybody want to give me a job? No, I'd just like to say, first and foremost, thank you to all of these courageous people who have saved my life and given me back some meaning and some integrity to which was taken away. And I'd also like to say and state there are many, many more of you who have helped me throughout all of this ordeal. Too many to name, and some who don't want to be named, as we've talked about. This is an ongoing problem that we have throughout the world. This phenomena exists. You know it does. And I definitely know it does. But there are those who want to keep this quiet, especially in this country. And since I've gone public with this, I've gone all around the world looking at people, talking to other people who have had interesting situations happen to them. And they all say one thing to me. They say, how come in the United States this is covered up? So I ask you that question, how come? Because when this first happened to me, I was not into science fiction. I didn't believe in any of this at all. But yet I couldn't deny what was happening to me. No matter how hard I tried to deny it, and I did, I could not deny it. And as I continued through this evolution of ideas, I began to see a new way of looking at things. I began to see that not always what we've been taught is the truth. Not always is the truth documentable. And not always can we rely on the people that